Not what you're expecting when you agree to this dig, is it? I suppose I should have warned you. My father can be a bit of a taskmaster when it comes to making sure everything is in its place. He's a stickler for proper procedure. Level in, level out, notate, then continue. You aren't allowed to simply remove the artifact. You must ensure it is properly documented. Well, if I'd told you that, you might not have come along with me. And then I'd never have gotten to spend this wonderful summer with you here in Luxor. I beg your pardon. I see nothing to apologize for, my dear. Beautiful scenery, excitement, good company. What more could anyone ask for? It is not all miles and miles of sand. This is the adventure of a lifetime. Even you have to admit that. Under a boiling sun. Well, fine. You could have just gone down to the Nile banks. Are you really that eager to return to dreary old London already? After less than a fortnight? You have absolutely no romance in you whatsoever. Jesting aside, you have to admit you're having some fun. If nothing else, it will certainly be something to boast about once we've returned home. Your first archaeological expedition and the fragments you've recovered. Oh, look at this. Very nice. Here, have a look. It may just be a piece like the others, but look, do you see the colours and the markings? I've seen the same on other fragments we've sent back. We may not be finding full artifacts, but that doesn't mean they can't be reconstructed. Yes, over here. Yes, hello. Please take this bag back for sifting and this one to the tent for cleaning and examination. Thank you. I know I've said it before, but I am extremely pleased you agreed to come along. It makes things much more fun having someone to delve into this with. You wound me. You had every opportunity to say no and remain home. You simply didn't take advantage of it. And that is no way my fault. Yes. Call it whatever you want. I, for one, will continue to be pleased with your presence. No, Elise never had any interest in what lies beneath the sands. My sisters always preferred staying in London with our grandmother. And, Eugene was always too busy with his tutors. Exactly. So forgive me, darling, if I take full advantage of having a partner in crime for once. When Father wrote I was allowed a guest, I was shocked. Pleasantly so, but shocked nonetheless. Father has always been rather strict about who's allowed on his expeditions. He's been chasing a single goal for years and is determined to see it through to the end. Like most, he's territorial about his dig sites and only trusted individuals are brought along. Father is serious about security. The core of his team consists of little more than himself and his local foreman, and he's a man he's known for years. No, not me, I'm afraid. He keeps most of that information very close to the chest, locked away behind closed doors in his head, or God only knows where else. Father might tell me some things, but I usually need to ask first. Perhaps, though it does allow me all the time I need to get into all sorts of unladylike trouble. Oh, you know me too well. I've no idea what caused him to change his mind. Perhaps something to do with the underground entrance they've been uncovering. Whatever structure is under there. No, it's likely a tomb. But until the workers finally get to where the seal is supposed to be, they won't have any idea whose it is or if it's intact. I'm just being cautious. At any rate, whatever caused him to change his mind, You were the first and only person I considered when he offered the extra ticket, especially with all the changes that are sure to happen after next year. I'm very glad you're here. Miles of sand or not.
I say, Lydia, my dear, everything all right over here?
Yes, Father, we're fine. This one's just complaining a bit is all.
Chin up. It may seem tedious, but you'll see. When that piece you've been working on is finally unearthed, it's as if heaven itself has smiled upon you. How are the two of you coming along?
We've just sent another few bits and pieces back to be properly cleaned. The deeper we get, the larger and more substantial they become.
Very good. Very good. I saw some of your previous pieces. Shards though they were, they add credence to my theory that this is the right place. The person we are looking for is here. I'm certain of it. Some come to Kemet for riches. I come for knowledge. You never know what you'll find until you've gone in. It's part of the adventure, and half the fun, forming a fuller view of history in what's found. Now that is a question, my young friend. Finding the tomb of the architect could hold the answer to questions we hadn't yet known to ask. Now that would be telling.
You've been quite confident about this particular site, Father, since long before my friend and I joined you in Egypt for the summer. But you've yet to explain how and why. Surely, now that we're here, now that you seem certain we found enough remains to indicate
The likelihood of a population working and living here, whilst rooms were being carved into the stone. Yes.
or burglars. Now that the workers have nearly finished unearthing the corridor, will you finally elaborate? What makes you so certain that the exact site you're looking for will be here at Wadi al-Malikat?
Taset Neferu, my dear.
The ancient Egyptian translates to the place of beauty. The Arabic, however, translates to Valley of the Queens. It's the counterpart to where Mr. Carter made his discovery last year.
It is actually that exact find, and a good working relationship with my colleagues, that brought us here, as well as the source of my confidence in this site, after my 2 previous failures. You see over there, it can be a bit hard to see right now, as it's nearly a mile away, but I'm sure you can see the tops of the tents from here.
Yes, I think so.
Just there is Deir al-Medina, or Set Ma'at in ancient Egyptian. It means place of truth. Last year, whilst the world was fascinated with Howard's discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, Monsieur Bruyere began excavating it. He has found evidence that it is an artisan city.
The same artisans who constructed the tombs in the valley.
It is a hypothesis. Bernard and his team are discovering new things at this site every day. Last we spoke, one of his teams was working on the temple they'd found. Yes, quiet. You never know what you'll find out here.
But that still doesn't explain your confidence regarding the architect.
Bernard's foreman found something. Something he sent to me for my expert opinion. That has led us here.
You think the architect was either a royal or a high noble?
A prince, dear girl. I believe he was a prince. It wasn't unusual to find the ability within the royal family to work in important positions. They kept it in the family and kept power consolidated.
Funny how some things don't change, even today.
Lydia?
Sorry, Father.
Yes, well, at any rate, I believe we are closer to the architect than we've ever been. Laying the great builder near his city, with the rest of his royal family, his family, would not only be his right, but his honor. Oh, yes. Left here to watch his great work for all eternity, along with the skilled workers and artisans who crafted it. Not necessarily. Not all representations of those going with one into the afterlife are literal, my young friend. Now then, I looked over the items you sent for inspection, and given how far this area is from the main site, I would like to see what else might be here. Tomorrow I am going to have some of the men not working on the ceiling stone assist in removing some of the sand from this section. It should assist with the excavation.
Of course. Thank you, Father.
No need to thank me, my dear. I am very curious to see what else we may find. But be prepared. It is my belief we should gain access to the tomb seal in the next day or so. When we are finally able to inspect it for the first time, I expect both of you to be in attendance.
Of course.
I will be dining with Sir Malcolm and a representative from the Ministry of Antiquities this evening. We are near enough that I need to start thinking ahead to whatever issues stand between us and approval for proceeding with opening. I expect to see both of you at breakfast, bright and early. If all goes well, as it should, I expect we will be having an exciting day on our hands.
If you'd still like to rush off for that swim in the Nile, this would be your chance. But you may be contending with crocodiles. I suppose the question is, which would be worse? The crocodiles with their teeth, or Sir Malcolm in the Ministry of Antiquities with their ever-growing list of rules and regulations? Oh, no, no, no. I'll gladly take my chances with the crocodiles, thank you very much. By my maths, I've an as good, if not better chance than I would sitting at a table with the local representative from the Antiquities Ministry. No, I will happily leave the responsibility of that to my father. Picked up on that, did you? There's something about him I simply do not like. I may not be able to put my finger on it, but, well, the less time I spend in his presence, the happier I am. Thankfully, we've not had many encounters with him this trip. Last year, Father and I weren't so lucky. We received so many invitations to dine with him, it bordered on excess. Oh, I finally convinced Father that we needed to spend more time dining with his colleagues, and not with the individual making his life's work that much harder to pursue. Well, with the revolution last year and the country declaring its independence, they've changed everything. Old procedures are out and new ones are in. They touch on everything. How tombs are to be opened, what paperwork is necessary for each part of a dig, what inspections need to happen, who needs to be on site, what can and cannot be removed from the country, you name it. Well, not all of them are bad, but overall it's a great bureaucratic nightmare. Mr. Carter was one of the first to run into these changes. Rumour has it, many of them were made specifically as stumbling blocks for him. Oh, I believe it. It's an unfortunate truth. Artifacts magically wandering away from dig sites, only to turn up a year later in private collections. That being said, the longer Father has to wait to get permission to open the tomb, the more the glee you saw will become frustration. I guarantee it. The individual my father mentioned, this architect, well, he's been searching for him for almost 15 years. Given how certain he is of this site finally being the right one, that whatever answers he wants are so close to being his, it would be enough to set anyone on edge. Oh, I'm certain we'll hear as soon as a decision is made. We are, after all, only over the hill from the main dig site. We should probably think about starting back. It won't be long before the workers go home for the day. And given that you and I have a table waiting for us at the hotel this evening, I'd like some time to prepare properly. Call it what you will, I will not be going to dinner covered in half the desert. What? No! This is not an admission of you being right. I just don't want to get dirt all over my dinner clothes. fine. Take it as you... That came from the main dig. By the gods! What happened? The workers, it looks as if something attacked them. I don't know. Everything was supposed to have been cleared. Where is he? There. Father? Father!
Lydia, you and your friend shouldn't be here right now.
We heard screaming. What happened?
There was a trap in the middle of the corridor. Some of the workers set it off while they were clearing.
Mid-corridor? I thought all those had been taken care of when they cleared the earlier sand.
Clearly not. There must have been one we missed. I don't know. They're doing everything they can for them right now. I've sent someone for the lorry. Someone will get them back to the city in a doctor.
Those poor men.
Lydia, you and your friend, the two of you shouldn't be here right now.
We can ride back with them. Make certain they get to the doctor.
Lydia, go back to the hotel. Let me and the foreman deal with this. You have to see to your guest.
See to my... But Father, the men, even if you're dealing with that, if they've tripped one mistrap, there could be more. We need to...
Lydia! You and your friend go with my foreman and the injured. Make certain they get back to the city.
But the entryway could be...
Go! I'll see you after dinner.
Yes, Father. What was all that? I've no idea. He's not one to change his mind once he's made it up. He didn't seem all that shaken either. It was as if it was something else. I don't know. It's as if he... What? Rahid, is he still... Drive faster! Fast as you can!